So today's agenda, one of the things we're going to be discussing is how you can understand your local market trends using our neighborhood data tab, namely by utilizing the AI insights in the neighborhood data. So we take all of those graphs that you're used to seeing inside of neighborhood data, or if you're not familiar with neighborhood data, it's filled with lots of cool graphs. Maybe you're not a graph person. Maybe you would prefer to have it kind of tell a story to you. That's essentially what we've accomplished with AI insights in neighborhood data. Second on our agenda today is going to be precise revenue estimates using our Revenue Estimator Pro tool. Also looking at the smart filtering that we have in there. So we've got plenty of ways that you can filter your estimate, but now we also have a little bit of an AI driven way of doing that as well. So instead of you going in and selecting swimming pool and people getting this type of ADR and getting this and this and this, you can simply type, I want to compare to properties that have at least 40% occupancy, have at least $200 ADR, things like that. Then number three, we're going to have a broader market overview using the market dashboards, specifically, again, looking at the AI insights and the smart filters that we have in those market dashboards. All right. So before we get started, let's take a look here. And just a little bit of information. We are all here as property managers. And one of the main things that we have to do is analyze our local market trends. We want to be able to share reports with owners, but sometimes this can be really time consuming. Looking at graphs and trying to figure out exactly what's being told in it. Some of us don't have time for that. Me personally, I'm a data guy. I love looking at those things, but there's plenty of people that only have 10, 15 minutes to look, and the AI insights will help you out a ton. As a host, staying up to date with the local market is super challenging, especially with all that data and charts. But here at PriceLabs, we've been using AI for our pricing recommendations for years. Basically, we've used it from collecting data from multiple sources to analyzing that data so that we can find our patterns. Our algorithm does all of that kind of hard work for you, so to speak. But we also understand that the algorithm is making pricing decisions, and we want you to understand the market trends around your property that are kind of informing those pricing decisions. This is definitely inspired a little bit by the popularity of ChatGPT. So we wanted to explore how we can leverage that ChatGPT factor into our robust algorithm. What we wanted to do was simplify market analysis for you and make it quicker to share reports for your owners, or just so you have a little bit of additional insight. So, with that said, let's take a look over here at neighborhood data. So within neighborhood data, you have lots of information, one of which is to look at your future prices and occupancy. Another one is to look at the market history and how over time the market's ADR has changed, how the booking windows have changed. You can also go into neighborhood data and look at some very specific details about your competitors. So if you're not familiar with neighborhood data, what we want to do here, I'm going to click back over to our dashboard, and I'm going to go to my Chicago property right here, Sky's the Limit. Give this just a moment to load up. And we can see up top, you've got your calendar, you've got neighborhood data, you've also got hotel data here as well. We're not going to cover hotel data, but that's another tab that you might want to take a look at, see if you've got some good information in there. So I'm going to click right here on neighborhood data. And this is where we're going to be able to see essentially what's going on in our market based on our property and where it's at. So as this is loading up, first thing I want us to look at is over here on this right side. It's loading as we go. I've got my listing bedroom count as a 2-bedroom, and I'm comparing to 1 and 2 bedrooms over here as well. Once this loads up fully, I can click right here and I can change what I want to compare to. If you've built out comp sets in your market dashboards, you can do that right here. But just for simplicity's sake, let's just compare to 2 bedrooms since that's what I have. Give this just a moment to load up. And we've got a bunch of colors and lines and all this kind of fun stuff over here. I'm going to go and I'm going to look at the next 1 year out so that I can see where everything's going. So let's pretend I'm your AI insights. I'm looking at this graph right now. This black line is where my rate is at as of today. The gray line or the gray background that you see, that's going to be the 25th to 50th percentile of the market. Consider the lower priced portions of your market. The darker pink is going to be the 50th, 75th percentile, so kind of in the middle. And then the lighter pink, 75th to 90th percentile. You can see during certain periods down here when I'm in slow season, January to February, my rate's really, really low. And you can see when I come out here into the future, I've got a big NASCAR Chicago event that's got my rate way up here. If I come out here to September, we know that Oasis has announced their reunion tour, so the rates are really high up there. With all of that information right there, you can do this within PriceLabs. Click that easy AI insights button. And instead of having to read that graph the way I just did and understand and interpret it, now you have this really easy price analysis over here. So just kind of looking through this and making sure everything's reflective. My market for this property is Chicago, and this is 100% spot on. High season is May, June, July, and August. My prices are at the higher end of the market. That's what I would want, especially with it being further out. I can see my low season is December, January, and February. Unless you're a Chicago Bears fan or a Chicago Bulls fan, or there's a concert or something, not a lot of people are wanting to go to Chicago, the Windy City, during those time periods. So it makes sense. And our prices are much lower than the market during that time period. You can see our current prices. And then there's some valuable information here as well, talking about the surge dates. So right here, 9th of October, 2025, the market prices are 27.5% higher. So if I come over here and I look at this, I can see that it is because of a Columbus Day event. There may be something else in there as well that is helping raise this pricing. 29th of August, we can see, also has a little bit, and those are indicated by these dots up here to help you easily identify it. 26th November to 28th November 2024, market prices are 18.4% higher compared to surrounding dates. That's very simple. That is Thanksgiving. Looks like they also have a Northwestern football game at that time, but that gives you a little bit of insight into what's going on with this. Same thing here with your occupancy. Now, I'm not going to spend a ton of time breaking down what we see on the insights. I would really like for you all to take the time and come in here and read the insights and understand them a little bit. But what this is going to do is going to tell you a little bit about your occupancy trends. You can see here that it is a weekend travel market. The market is performing slightly worse for the next 2 months compared to the same time last year. And then we can see a little bit about seasonality. Again, we can see the surges in demand and where people are really, really booking, and also where the market might be trailing a little bit behind. So in your neighborhood data, that's where you have two AI insights buttons that you can hit to really assist you up. I'm going to hit my thumbs up there and I'm going to tell them thank you for making this easy to understand. If you want to get rid of this box, just hit your AI insights and it'll take you right back to the previous view. Not going to spend a ton of time below the AI insights in here, but I would love for you when we get off of this webinar to come into your listing, check out neighborhood data, because there is a plethora of information that can benefit you. Market history, we can see. You can summarize for last year or the last 2 years and look at how things have changed. So we can look at our occupancy overall. You can also come down here and look at it broken down month by month. Booking window is super important right now. So if you wanted to come in and kind of prepare for this year, come check out some of this stuff. Also down here, you have this competitor area where you can look at a competitor map if you want to. Fantastic right here. That'll show you all of the properties that we're comparing to that are kind of feeding this neighborhood data page. You can also click on any of these dots and go directly to that person's Airbnb page. Down here, you have the compare competitor calendar. And all you have right here is all of the listings that are up there as dots. They're now listed for you based on proximity. So we can see this cozy 2-bedroom Northwest side apartment is 0.13 kilometers away. That one's my closest neighbor. I can come in here and select some of these, hit update data, and now all of a sudden I have a huge amount of information on my direct competitors, including their cleaning fee if it's listed, what their fee split is, what their minimum length of stay is, and what their rate is. So real quick, looking at this, up top, we can see my listings and my price up there. We can see when PriceLabs last pulled this information. So for cozy 2-bedroom Northwest side, we pulled this information 41 hours ago for you. Their cleaning fee is $125. They split the fee with their guest. Sometimes you'll see host only fee, and we can see that they run typically a 3-night minimum length of stay. Great information in here for you to look at with that. Spend a little bit of too much time, in my opinion, on the neighborhood data, let's say. But in summary, AI Insights helps you turn those charts into very simple sentences. You can get key insights about future trends, and then you can also share your summary with your clients, coworkers, whatever it is that you're needing to. Next up is the Revenue Estimator Pro. This is one of my favorite tools that we've come out with. By comparison, there's a few revenue estimators out there. I'm not going to name any by name, but if you've been in this industry long enough, you know that those estimates are astronomically high and can sometimes set you and your clients or customers up for failure. So, what we've done at PriceLabs is we have created a tool called Revenue Estimator Pro, which, real quick, let me get back over here. This is going to help you discover any property's earning potential, gives you instant revenue estimates. This is great for property managers, simplifying the estimates and sharing revenue projections. And then it's really, really great for your investors also, so that they can see the insights to make smarter property investment decisions. Let's take a look over here real quick at one of the estimates. So if you want to do an estimate with us, all you've got to do is come up here, hit Revenue Estimator Pro, open link in new tab so I don't lose that one. And you should see, most likely, if you haven't used it before, you're going to have a token in there so that you can give this a try and just see how it works for you. So let's go back here. I've already created a couple of these. I've got this one right here for the Intuit Dome. If you cannot tell, I'm a Los Angeles Clippers fan, and our brand new home opens today. So I'm super pumped about it. We're going to look at, if I had a property close to Intuit Dome, what kind of money could I look at? So in here, I have this built out, and what I can see is the estimate that they're currently providing me. Let me clear that off. The estimate that they are currently providing me is $46,000 and $46,400 for a 3-bedroom property in proximity to Intuit Dome. That ranges from 21,000 to 68,000 in here. And I can come in and I can do filter selection if I want to. So if I want to say this has a certain amount of bathrooms, blah, 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 it has a hot tub. I want to select certain amenities. Maybe it has an EV charger. They allow pets, those kind of things. You can come in and you can select those individually if you want to, but you can also now come use our smart filters, which right here you can see it says filter estimates to listings with at least 50% occupancy that average at least $3,000 a day. That's a prompt that I'd put in. Now, what I'm going to do, let's just change it up. And I'm going to say filter to listings that um, average at least $10,000 a month and have occupancy over 50%. I'm going to hit enter. Let's give this just a few moments. It will take a second to think and look and do all of that good stuff. But now what we will see is this estimate will come back to us and it will be based off of that criteria. So it will essentially filter all of the information that we're looking at down to just properties that make at least $10,000 a month and have occupancy of at least 50%. Give this just a second. Fortunately, when I'm doing a live screen share and got a bunch of things open, it will take a little while. But let's now look at what our estimated revenue is. So because I've said it makes at least $10,000 a month, meaning it has to have at least $120,000 overall for the year. Now I'm looking at everything from 121,000 up to 196,000. So because my property is going to perform this way, this is a much better estimate for me. Now, on the same note, let's say we want one that's not very, you know, it's maybe not quite that high. Like filter listings to bottom 10% revenue earners with occupancy less than 40%. I'm not going to take the time and let this load up because we are on a time crunch doing 30 minutes. But what we can see is we tried this, didn't really get anything. It says, if you believe this is incorrect, please try again with a more specific query. So I think me saying bottom 10% revenue earners is probably wrong. So let's change that to filter listings to average revenue per month of less than $1,000. So we'll be able to come in here, look at this, and then you will get another estimation off of that. So as that's taking its time to load, Let's pop back over here real quick. And now we've talked about refining our comp sets and using those using those smart filters to make it a little bit more precise. If you don't want to use the smart filter, you don't have to. You do, like I said, have the ability to come in here and actually select exactly what you want. So what we can see here, the prompt that I put in there did not return very good information because we probably don't have anything that really says, hey, this is at the bottom part of the market. And then obviously adjusted occupancy 6%. But come in here, tinker with it, play around with it, and see what you can get out of it. Uh, let's go back over here now. And next up, we've got about 10 minutes left. I'm going to hit market dashboards real quick. And then we'll have about the final 5 minutes or so for us to actually go in there and answer any questions that they need to. So with our market dashboards, that's going to be your next area that we see up here in market research. So we clicked up here, we saw that you have Revenue Estimator Pro. You also have market dashboards up here. What this does is it allows you to do a really deep dive into a market, very broad if you want to, and then kind of go in there and build out some comp sets and narrow it down even further for you. Sorry, hit my microphone on you. So inside of market dashboards, some of the really cool stuff that you can find, popular amenities and how they're converting versus the rest of the market, some of the booking patterns within your market, what does supply and demand look like, how many book nights are certain people getting, what's the market ADR, what's the market RevPAR. There's so much good information that you can see. But sometimes if you hop into our market dashboards, some people may say it's a little bit too much information, so to speak. I'm a data guy. I love seeing all of this stuff, but maybe you want something that's a little bit more actionable right off the bat. So let's give this just a second. My market dashboard's going to load back up. But one thing we can see right here, once it loads, you're going to have another AI Insights button right here. And that's going to help you really quickly understand what's happening in the market over the last 365 days. So as this loads, once again, for our market dashboard, we're looking in Los Angeles. Go Clippers. That's going to be basically around the Intuit Dome. So if you wanted to come and see what it is that's in your market dashboard, you can come right down here to this. We can zoom out and see we are in Los Angeles, California. And we can zoom in and see all of the little properties that we have in here now. So if you want to, you can come in and literally go directly to the property. We can click right there if I wanted to go look at it. You can also, in this area, when building out comp sets, you can select certain things. So you don't have to look at the whole Los Angeles area. You can come in and say, hey, I only want certain things that are around the Good Samaritan Hospital right here. Just by using this lasso select, you select that, and that will come right here and help drive this comp set area. I've gotten a little bit ahead of myself. Now that this is loaded up, I want us to look at the main focus today, which is the AI insights. So we can look, we can see, graphically up here, occupancy's been at 37%. It's around what it was last year. Booking window's a little shorter. ADR's gone up slightly. You've got bookings coming up. There's 1.26 or 1,256 additional properties over the past year. Or I could just click this, and now AI Insights is essentially going to define all of this for you. So give us one moment for this to load up. And we can see our market insights. The number of active listings. This indicates supply. Active listings is 5,555, an increase from 4,299. So that shows that we are seeing a huge increase in supply. Booking window right here. Not going to read the whole thing to you, but we can see the current value is 14 days, a decrease from 20 days over the last 365 days. So your booking window's compressed. People are waiting to the last minute. Number of bookings you can see have an increase of 38% in the Los Angeles area, went from 55,000 bookings up to 77,000 bookings. No significant changes observed in the KPIs: ADR, average revenue, average occupancy, median length of stay, and average RevPAR. Got some correlation here. Talks about our high seasons being August, July, and October. The median booking window is 18 there. ADR is around 157. Then when we look at our lower seasons, the booking window is around 16 days out, and ADR is about $7 less than what we see during the high season. But we've covered the AI insights aspect of market dashboards. There's another area though. So we talked about this and being able to go in and build out a really specific comp set. So you can come in and you could select like we talked about, or you can come right here and use the very similar functionality that we just saw in Revenue Estimator Pro to help us build out comp sets. So in here, we've got AI text filter is experimental. It may show unexpected results. This is in progress. So if you see anything wonky with it, please let our team know. But right now, this is working very well. So I'm going to say 2-bedroom condos. I don't know why that stopped typing. Oh, there we go. 2-bedroom condos with at least 40% occupancy and monthly revenue of at least $3,000. So I'm going to give that just a second to populate. And what we will see is this comp set area will now only include information that is a 2-bedroom, excuse me. My apologies about that. A little under the weather today. But we can see that this is now filtered to 2-bedroom condos with at least 40% occupancy and monthly revenue of at least $3,000. And it prioritizes properties that maximize their revenue. Another nice additional point in there. So with that, I've narrowed that down. If I want to, I can say 2 bedrooms near into it. And I can generate this comp set. So now that I've generated this comp set, trick for you guys, you can come up here and you can now look at these comp sets and your market dashboard. Everything on here would only be reflective of these 509 listings that we've picked. If you recall also when we looked at the neighborhood data tab just a little while ago, which I'm going to come back to and hope it loads up ASAP. So when we come here, once you build out those comp sets and you really, really feel good about it, you can come right back here to your neighborhood data tab and change what you're comparing to if you wanted to be a little bit more precise and look at more competitors that you've had an input on. So now instead of looking at nearby listings, I can click my market dashboard. I can come up here. I don't have it in here right now, but let's do Knoxville. And then I could collect that comp set from right here. So we could do it there. And a little bit more before we get into the Q&A, just looking at your market dashboards, you can see we've got market summary information in here for you. You can see the whole summary table if you wanted to of what it is that's populating this market dashboard. Got supply and demand. So, we talked about the supply going up. We can also see the total book nights going up. You have some key future dates down in here. So we can see November 15th and November 17th is doing well. Not quite sure why we have September in here other than this market dashboard being a really old one. But you can see some trends in there with that. See future occupancy and cancellations as well. So you can come in here and see where your cancellations have been increasing. Got future prices, day of the week occupancy, length of stay trends versus the bookings. So you can see right here, book nights, you've got about 12,000 nights that are being booked that are for more than 29 days. Los Angeles has a lot of restrictions, so that's why you see something like that. And then we get down here into the amenities, which I love. I love seeing this stuff. What this is not saying people are searching for Wi-Fi. It is the most common amenity that is listed on somebody's Airbnb listing. And how does it convert as well? So Wi-Fi is on 98.2% of listings. Bookings come in at 99% clip on Wi-Fi. So if you don't have Wi-Fi, you're kind of in trouble. This one is very interesting though. So when we look in here, these are desired amenities. So if you have a Airbnb amenity listed and you're getting booked, This is not necessarily indicating people are searching for extra pillows and blankets. It's saying the people that convert have these things offered as well. And most likely what it is they're very complete in their listings in saying, hey, we offer whatever it is that's going to make your stay special. Self check-in might actually be a mover there. Shampoo, body soap is probably a mover. People don't want to travel that stuff anymore. Just a lot of good information. See discount information, cleaning fees, cancellation policies, anything that you'd want. You can also hit generate PDF right here and be completely good to go. So with that, let's slide on over here. So we talked about being able to see the quick summary and simple sentences. You get key insights on the market, easy to gauge trends, also informed investment decisions. So we talked about refining those comp sets to meet your exact needs and where you can apply those. If you have any further questions about how to apply those, please reach out to support@pricelabs.co. Somebody will be happy to help you. Last piece of our update, so to speak, is going to be our new integration. So we want to thank our new property management partners that have connected with us. We've got I Do Booking, Previo, and Logia as well. So thank you all very much for joining. If you use these property management systems, you are now able to enter the PriceLabs realm and watch your revenue increase. Thank you all so much. Right now, we're going to take some time for questions. I know we're right at our 30 minutes, so hopefully we won't take too much time here. But if you have any further questions, please reach out to support@pricelabs.co. We've got a fantastic support team that is very, very active, always willing to help you. So please reach out if you have any questions there. All right, so now I'm going to stop my share and let's take a look at some of these Q&As. How does the revenue estimate feature compare to AirDNA? Asked Larissa. So earlier, when I mentioned that there's a lot of people that have an estimator that they use, but they're not really satisfied with it because numbers are really high. I would say that our estimator tool is better than what AirDNA offers. AirDNA has been around a long time. They're a trusted data source. We are a trusted data source as well. And we've taken feedback that we've heard about their tool and said what we want to do is be able to improve it. Without going into too much detail, there's a lot of data that's included in their estimates, a lot of older data, a lot of data that is concerning to somebody that's really thorough in wanting good revenue estimation. So I would say that our tool's better than theirs, but what we're doing is trying to improve off of something that they had already started. AirDNA is the first one with the really good revenue estimator. It just doesn't seem like it's really been updated for modern times. It seems like it's in the same state that it was in 5 years ago. All right. Bryce has asked, how do we earn tokens for the Revenue Estimator Pro? Bryce, if you would reach out to support@pricelabs.co, let them know that you attended this event. I'm sure that we'd be happy to give you a couple of those as well. But you can also purchase those. We have different quantities available. But if you don't mind, reach out to support@pricelabs.co and cover that a little bit more. All right. And then Vina asks, what characterizes an amenity to be popular? Is it the ones that are booked most often or based on qualitative data from guest reviews? I.e., what data points categorizes an amenity to be popular? Specifically within the market dashboard and where we're putting those as the popular amenities, what it is we are judging the amount of conversion based on those amenities. So if you had shampoo listed on your amenities as an amenity, it's not necessarily saying somebody's looking for it, but we're seeing that people that have that listed are converting at a 17% higher clip than the rest of people. So when you look at it, some of it's going to be, you're going to have to read between the lines a little bit with those. So like for me, self check-in would probably be something that would actually be something somebody looks for. On-street parking or private parking would be something I think people would really look for. Shampoo, maybe, maybe people search for that. I personally would. Like if I'm traveling to an Airbnb, I want to make sure that they have, well, not shampoo because I don't need it, but like body wash and things like that. So I don't have to travel with it and get accosted by the federal agents at the airport. Um, but that's kind of how we look at those. So it's not necessarily saying that we see anybody with reviews or anything like that. Now, if you want some tips on amenities that are really popular right now, pet friendly is number one, if it's possible in your market. Pet friendly everybody wants to travel with their dog. I'm one of those people. Um, Pet friendly is really huge. Um, Little things like the shampoos, the conditioners, all of that. There's a big push in the Smoky Mountains where I'm at for pickleball courts. You know, there's only so many people in the world that are going to play pickleball. Maybe throw a basketball court in there instead, but it's kind of yeah, sorry, went a little off topic on that one. But anyways, thank you for the question, Vina. And then Roz, we've got one as well. How does PriceLabs compare to say newer options such as Logify? Just pops up and says try our dynamic pricing. Assuming you are just more advanced because you focus solely on pricing. Roz, that's a really great way of looking at it. Our sole purpose for property managers, for property management companies, for hosts is for us to give you the best tool to maximize your revenue by using dynamic pricing and the data that's readily available for you. A lot of property management companies, or I'm sorry, a lot of property management systems are coming out with their own dynamic pricing, but it's not dynamic pricing. It's just rules and things like that. They may have a little bit of insight into it, but it's not what they're super hyper focused on. And I would say that as long as you are no, not to say anything bad about any of the partners like Logify, Hostaway, Guesty, they all have their own pricing things, and in some instances those are better. If you don't want to get in and really learn revenue management, those tools can be fine for you. But yes, because we focus solely on dynamic pricing, and we also focus on being the best dynamic pricing. It is not, there's no like we just want to have a good product. We want it to be the best. That's kind of what I would say is the best. All right. And Nana, I don't know if it's Nana or Nana, so I'm going to go with Nana just because I like that. But says, please do a session on hotel data in the future. So, Mirador, please take a note of that, and maybe we can hit up that hotel data in the future. All right, folks, it looks like we are all done with our questions. Let me breeze through the chat, see if there's anything crazy in here I might want to answer. Looks like a lot of conversation. I love seeing this. Thank you all for helping each other. That's really cool to see kind of in there as well. So looks like Kinga asked about any plans for a booking.com integration. That I am not 100% certain on, but I don't see how we don't eventually end up there. So hopefully you'll have an update on that very, very soon. So thank you all so much for joining us today. Miradul, Rafal, Aditya, thank you so much for your help on the questions and everything. You all are fantastic. Always enjoy getting to spend time with you all. Last thing, go Clippers. All right. Have a wonderful day, folks. Thank you all so much. Bye bye.